So, once we start getting into this armbar half, okay? First, some of you guys, I think, you know, some of you guys have probably spent a decent amount of time doing tilts or whatever, but I just want to spend a little bit of time doing a rolling chop, okay? We've always been taught, you know, chop, knee him in the butt, bust him forward, all that. That's great, okay? That works really well, but until you get to a point where somebody's pretty strong. And when people get really strong, it's really hard to ever bust a full-grown man forward and just break him down, okay? So we have to start going to the side that he has no length. So I'm doing a rolling chop, all right? With the rolling chop, everything's got to be tight, right? I've got to control his hips. I got to be tight here. We're like spooning, okay? If I'm loosey-goosey falling my hip, bad things are going to happen to you. So if you guys are going to do a rolling chop, make sure you guys are very, very tight with the hips and tight with the tight waist, okay? Also, I know that I'm trying to get an arm bar on this guy. So if I'm chopping and I'm just out here like this or whatever, that makes this motion very far away. So when I'm doing an arm bar half, I'm always trying to cheat that. So I think about the crease of my wrist all the way to the crease of his elbow, and I'm like hanging on it, like a monkey grip hang on top of this guy. It's like this, right? This is mine, and now I can control this. Now it's very close to get there when it needs to. Okay, so start cheating the idea that we're getting to an arm bar. Okay, next I'm going to roll, and I'm going to go into my hips, and I'm going to keep him in my little basket, right? When we're tilting and everything, I call this like my little basket that I kind of keep him in. So I'm here at a tight waist, I'm here, and I'm rolling, and I'm chopping, okay? And I'm going to keep him up on my little basket here. But all I'm doing it for is this motion. See how my arm's slipping into this arm bar position, okay? That's why I like to do it. So now when I knee him in the butt and bust him forward, I have my bar in. Just great really for me. But I have my bar in. Does everybody see that? Okay, you gotta sneak it in there sometimes because it's hard. Nobody's gonna just let you just break him down forward, put an arm bar in, and get an arm bar, okay? So we're gonna try to sneak it in. So, pop him back forward, okay? I'm here, I'm heavy. I'm heavy on this one. I'm chopping, I'm keeping him up on his hips, I'm busting him forward, pulling up, punching across, getting my bar in. And that's kind of one of the main ways I think you guys should get your bars in, okay? Once I have a bar in, I never stay on the side of the bar. Unless we're running arm bars, but for right now, we're running arm bar halves, okay? I think a lot of times people, when they start running bars and doing this kind of stuff, they end up getting in a lot more trouble than they need to. Because one, I'm over the top here. So it's hard to have a lot of pressure on himself. And two, this guy, he can sit up and do like weird stuff and he will fall off the top and cause a lot of problems. So when I get my bar in, I'm always jumping over to this side. Like this, I'm ready to start running this half. I'm locked in over here, okay? I know it's pretty simple, but just kind of breaking it down a little bit. Some of you guys maybe have never hit a rolling chop before, all right? So I just kind of want you guys to practice that. Be willing to stay on your hip for a second, but it's mostly just to get that arm bar in. Slipping it in, I'm busting forward, punching my bar in, jumping to the other side. Getting ready to start doing halves. Cool? Simple enough? All right. Quickly, just start feeling comfortable with this type of position. Boom. Like here. Like I'm tilting. I'm ready to tilt. Boom. My bar's in. Cool? So, when I'm here, all right, and if I'm on an arm bar, we're just over here on an arm bar half. You guys notice how his elbow is going out the back side of my arm? Okay? When it's going out the back side of my arm, it does two things. It makes like my shoulder go over the top of my hand, and that makes me really not that strong. And it allows him to have freedom to reach his arm out straight. And then now it's a battle of this. And I'm not that strong that way, right? I mean, I'm stronger than him, but most people are not, right? There we go. Okay, all right, so when he's here, okay, he can straighten his arm and it causes a lot of problems. Even when I'm running the arm bar like this, and who's all been told, run the shoulder to the ear. Has anybody heard that before? Okay, that's the right technique, but if I don't have the elbow pop, it still doesn't do that much for me. He can still straighten his arm, and that's when we spin in circles and have all those problems. Okay, so what the trick is, and some of you guys probably already know this, but a couple of you, okay, I have to get this elbow, I have to sit back and let it pop on the front of my chest. You guys see how now it's locked in? And you have to lock this in. You can't be all loosey-goosey down here and stuff, okay? I go from here, and I let it pop, and I lock it right in the front of my chest and this way, okay? Now, when I lock it this way, you straighten your arm. You can't go out. So now this right here is now blocked away from him. And this is why the half works so well. It's because he has nothing over here posting it. Also, when I'm running an arm bar too, okay, this is where all the pressure comes from. If I'm like here, he has a lot of this. If I sit this back, boom, it's locked in, and that's where the pressure is. If you don't think if you can't see it, I'll show you, okay? It's a completely different feel. It hurts way worse. All right, now stand up real quick. Alright? So, when you lock that shoulder in, it locks their shoulder in and it puts all the pressure on their front labrum now. And that's what's going to cause them to get pinned, right? So, but naturally, when I pop my elbow, when we let the elbow pop out, our arm starts going high, up this direction, right? Which is potentially dangerous, right? And the refs stop it all the time. So, all I'm going to do is, you guys ready to learn how to cheat? No, 2 ways how to cheat in wrestling. This, and grab your head gear. But you probably get caught grabbing your head gear, so don't do that too much, okay? Make a fist, just roll your hand down. Now it looks like it's straight across the back. The ref's like, yep, straight across the back, it's good. It's not, it's the same pressure. So that's how you cheat in wrestling, okay? So, when he's down, okay, and I'm ready, and I got this arm bar, and I'm here, it doesn't have to be popped yet, I'm about to start running it, boom, boom, I lock that elbow in. My hand, when I start really running it and somebody's finding it, your hand's gonna start going high, roll it down, make a fist, squeeze in tight. Okay? Now I'm here, okay, I got my arm bar. That's the most important part, okay? We're here, sink this back, lock it in, make a fist, roll it down. Next, okay, I'm not just gonna get up on my toes and run like we do when we're kids on halves, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jam both my knees up under his chest and try to bring my elbow to my hip, so it's here to here. So now he can't fight down, Okay? But if I'm like this and I run on my toes, he can get my elbow broke down. Okay, so that's why it's here, and I jam both my knees up. Okay, from here, I continue to let this elbow pop, circle around the head, teabag, finish.